What's up, guys? This video is going to be maybe on the shorter and sweeter side, and I used a preppier looking thumbnail because I want to share a super simple way that God has provided for me in my life, and that is through my parents. So money was just not a stressful thing growing up. I mean, it was kind of like if we would ask for sugary cereals or candy from the grocery store, the answer was no. If we wanted new clothes, the answer was basically no. Or put it on your Christmas list, but we didn't necessarily get to pick out the clothes that we got. We just got whatever we got, and it's not necessarily going to be the newest, coolest thing, And so money, in a sense, it felt like a limiting factor. It wasn't like we were spoiled to death by any means, but if you look at it, and now being an adult, and you consider my upbringing, it's just clear to see, like, man, my parents provided for us, and my parents are God-fearing parents. They worked not just for them, but they worked for also the life they want to provide for their kids, and the education they want to give their kids, and the resources they want to give their kids. And so I'm super thankful for my parents for that, and ultimately they did that prayerfully. They did that unto the Lord. They did that with sacrifices. I mean, the amount of time that we got to spend together when I was 0 through age 8 was really low compared to probably a lot of kids. But that cost also came with the reward of, hey, I got to grow up in private school. I got to play a musical instrument growing up and had private lessons. I was in Boy Scouts all growing up, going camping every month. I was always in several different sports. In the summers, we got to go to summer camp. I went to, Christian summer camps. We went to academic summer camps. We went to athletic summer camps. We were always out and about. Even, I think when I was 5 years old, I did my first week-long overnight camp, and it was a blast. And there are many more examples. Even like my private school and high school, we had a laptop that my parents had to buy for me. Even within that high school, which cost more than my college, by the way, my parents paid for what was called the Distinguished Scholars Program, which was like an additional chunk of change to be a part of this 4-year elective course centered around research, writing, communication, presenting. And it was super helpful. I mean, it was an amazing curriculum, super small class, 7 students in the class with a PhD professor, just and the same professor for all 4 years. So opportunities like that I was afforded, and it had a real reward. It had a real return on that investment that was made into me. Also, we were never nervous about food. Like, we had food to eat, and during different economic situations that could have been stressful and probably were stressful for a lot of people, I did not feel that stress. So, for example, in 2008, 2009, that whole crash, I mean, I lived in Houston, Texas, so as a city, we were insulated from it. As a state, we were insulated from it compared to a lot of America. But within my household, we were super insulated because nothing changed. I didn't even know it was a hard time. I was in 8th grade, which I would have been old enough to tell if something was up, but nothing was up with my parents, with our income. I mean, maybe they did have income changes, but nothing they weren't prepared for. And so even going to college, my parents paid for our all 4 of their kids' colleges, and if I had wanted to go even to a private school, I would have had the opportunity to do that. 2 of my siblings have done that, and my parents paid for it, straight up. And that's not just, my parents, it's really God working through them to provide for us. And it's been huge for each of us in different ways. Each of us meaning my siblings. But I'm thankful that we always had enough, we always had more than enough, and that money was not a big stressor. There weren't money fights in my house growing up. It was not an area of tension growing up. it was an area of discipline. It was an area of strict boundaries. My parents gave me a piggy bank one year for a Christmas present or birthday present, and it had 3 slots in it. I think it was a Dave Ramsey produced piggy bank, but it was a giving and a saving and a spending. And my parents said, give 10%, save 50%, spend 40. And they didn't just say that, they immediately enforced it. So if I got $100 for my birthday, which would have been a nice birthday haul, when I was around 13, literally my mom takes 60 and puts it in her purse. Like, I don't even see it. She's like, I'll go ahead and give this 10 for you, and I'll save this 50 for you. Here you go, there's $40 to spend. And so money was not super lax necessarily, but we never had a scarcity mindset or a sense that there would not be enough. My parents were always disciplined, worked really hard, worked really long hours, and lived well below their means in order to provide a life for us that ultimately God worked through. And it helped me to grow in different areas that He's taught me throughout the years, in finances as well. So once again, thank you, Mom, and thank you, Lord, for your provision. Well, I guess I should also say, thanks for watching. Life is worship. God is love. Talk to y'all soon.